Hello, Iron Bill here with another video. It's been a while. I apologize for that. I've taken a bit of hiatus from Destiny 2, and today I'm bringing a video about Anthem. I will be discussing how it compares and contrasts with Destiny 2. Currently, we're looking at a legendary contract, which is a more difficult version of the regular contracts. It's set on hard difficulty, and I'm playing as an interceptor. The interceptor is the fastest but least armored character of choice of the four characters which you can, or javelins I guess I should call them, which are the outfits that you wear. And right now you're seeing me getting pummeled and then fleeing, which is what you have to do. This character's strengths are going to be melee abilities, dashing in and out. So essentially you're going to be a bit of a rapier. You're going to get in, do your damage, and get out. Can't take a lot of punishment, so you got to keep moving. Anyway, as you see in the gameplay, there's quite a bit of action going on. The scenery is beautiful. The explosion effects are magnificent. This is on a PS4 Pro, by the way. So, yeah, pretty happy with that. So, third-person shooter. It's not something I thought I would get into again. But this is put out by BioWare, which is the maker of the Mass Effect series, which until the last installment of Anthem was one of the most revered of all third-person shooters in this genre. So thought I'd give it a shot and see what it would be like. This is BioWare slash EA's 6-year journey to an open-world concept. And in many respects, it's pulled off effectively. In some ways, it falls short, but overall, gameplay is pretty solid. Now, this game is very much ability-based, which means you're going to be spending a lot of time working to build up your ultimate, which is the Destiny version of your super. And in the meantime, you're going to use a bit of your weapons. The difference here is you use a lot more of your ability than you do in Destiny. It may not seem like that in the gameplay that you're watching, but that's because I'm working on another feature of this program that Destiny does not have, and that is you get blueprints for weapons that you use a lot. The more you use them, the higher level blueprint you get, and that goes all the way up to the highest possible rank, which I believe is legendary in this game. Currently, I'm working a Masterwork gun, and I'm trying to get it so that I get my Masterwork blueprint so I can roll better versions of it. So the replayability of the game starts right there, and that is, there is an RNG aspect to the weapons, of course, also to the mods that you can add to your armor, of which there are several. And you spend a lot of time looking for resources, you spend a lot of time trying to get Masterwork guns to drop once you're at level 30, which is where this character's at. I'm trying to build it up so it can run Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3 levels. So there's a lot of flexibility about the difficulty settings. So really, in a lot of ways, it's pretty amazing. I should also point out that I've not been able to squad up with anyone in particular. I've done level 30 solo completely, played all the way through the story campaign. And I did that on normal, but I think if one were a better player than I am, you could do that on hard level. I don't think you could do it on Grandmaster until you get enough. Oh, here's I think that was a Masterwork item right there. Yes, it was. You see it pop up on the screen. Until you get enough Masterwork items or get your mods built up to the point where you have builds that are specific for the dungeons that you're going to go into or the missions you're going to do, it would be difficult to complete a lot of the higher level content on the Grandmaster settings. It takes some time to get built up to that point, and I don't think your first run through on a campaign that would work out all that well. Alright, what to add from here? I cut out a lot of the flying scenes to cut down the time on this, but the flying is tremendous, and when you fly through the world, it's alive. I mean, there are characters all over the place, flying through the air, swimming in the waters, roaming the shores. I mean, it is I wouldn't say heavily populated, but there is life on this planet. And for my taste, it's a prettier place. And it's been criticized for being one-dimensional, largely jungle, whatever, but I don't know. I mean, I think if you're going to do that, do it exceptionally well, and you can pull it off. And I think that's what BioWare has done here. They've given a very beautiful world here. That's pretty complete, and it leaves the door open for them to add different regions later on. So yeah, I'm pleased with this. I think it's just fine. Now the bosses here. Uh, the levels of enemies that you get whenever you roll into one of these areas, you notice the yellow icon over there, which tells me where I need to go. The level of enemies starts off lower tier, the minions, if you will, and then as you move along, a little bit more powerful enemy comes in, and then ultimately you get the boss. And I'm saving my ultimate for that purpose, although I think this is the second stage of 3 stages. And this one moves fairly quickly. Yeah, it does. This is definitely the second one. That guy was, you have to look up. And that guy had been pounding me from behind. And I know it's an awful thing to say, but, and I wasn't quite sure where it was coming from, but I was focusing on the enemies in front of me, got them taken care of, turned to deal with him, and one of my squad mates here had taken care of him. And revisiting that idea, I was able to play this solo because the matchmaking is so very good in this game, and it's something they do get right. I'm level 30 right now, and I'm playing on a hard mode mission. And let's say that there was a level 15 in here. We would essentially have the same experience because the game scales, and so everyone feels the same difficulty. Now, it's a little confusing to me, a little muddy. But the developers have stated, and I'll have to wait for a clarification on this so I understand it better, that the real difference that you feel isn't from becoming overpowered, over-leveled. It's by how you mod your javelin and how you mod your character. So you perfect your loadouts, and that's when you begin to dominate. And that's really effectively what you have to do to run the Grandmaster settings. If you're watching this for very long, you notice how clumsy my javelin play is here. Again, I am trying to use primarily the gun and not my super ability so that I get that blueprint. But on top of that, my movement could be so much better, and I see it in my replay here as I watch. So, yikes! Something I'm going to have to work on. So in the final analysis, does this compare directly to Destiny? I don't think on every level. I think on some design decisions, such as the way the world is constructed, how you move through it, how you use your ultimate abilities / super abilities. I think you can compare those items pretty squarely. I think in that respect, hands down, this is the better game. In terms of guns and how cleanly your weapons separate, so that you, and by that I mean you really notice a difference between equipping different guns. In Destiny, you notice the difference in the class of guns, but not so much between different guns of the same class. I would say that's probably pretty similar here. I'm still experimenting with the guns, particularly the masterwork guns. I don't think they're any better clearly defined here than they are in Destiny. Maybe even a little less so, but it's really not that much different. Again, the big thing about the guns when you look for roles is what additional mods do they have that will help build up your javelin or build up your ultimate or that sort of thing. So, in the final analysis, modifications, your ability to personalize, your ability to make your character what you want, hands down Anthem, all the way Anthem. There's just so much more you can do with your character in terms of how you want to fight, how you want to play. And to that end, the javelins are really cleanly separated. That is something that they got so right. So For me, and I know a lot of people are hating on the game right now, I'm loving it. And some days I'll go in, I'll run um, strongholds. Some days I'll go in and I'll just do free play. Sometimes I'll go in and do these contracts. I mean, I have options. If I feel like really challenging myself, bump it up to Grandmaster and play. If I don't, maybe I'll knock back to normal and just go slay out and just blow off some steam. Um, in that respect, the game is accessible to any level of player right from the jump. I mean, if you want to put it on easy mode and go run, you can. You can run through all the content and play it that way as a casual. You want to go hardcore and really see what you're made of, it will definitely challenge you on that level as well. So, um, for all the things it has going wrong, the load screens, the occasional crashes, you know, those are some problems, and they're not to be ignored. But on the whole, it's a very, very well uh, made game, and I would recommend it to people who are looking for something with a bit of story, a bit of interaction between missions. There are people to talk to. There's lore to discover and to read. Um, it's just an interesting game in that respect. So I don't think a person who's really into Destiny is going to leave Destiny to come to this, but if you're not playing Destiny and you're just looking for something to do, this is definitely worth a try. So with that, I think that's probably enough rambling. My honest assessment, if I were to put a number on it from 0 to 10, I'd give it an 8. And if they fix the problems, potentially a 10. So this is Iron Bill signing off.